Hello, everybody. Welcome to Champions Chat with your host, me, Alex Wochuck01 Brasso. For starters, you're probably asking, what is Champions Chat? How are you a champion of anything? What are you a champion of? Basketball shorts? Yes, I am a champion of basketball shorts. But let me give the history on what Champions Chat is. For those of you who don't know, I played Pokemon professionally back in the day, starting in 1999 all the way up to 2011, and I was fortunate enough to win the 2002 Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championship, 15 plus division, undefeated. You can Google it. After that, I had a bunch of other high placings in Pokemon and stuck with it for a while until I eventually moved to Florida, did the whole family thing, yada yada. But in 2020, with that whole Pokemon boom, I got back into it. I started collecting the cards again, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start playing tournaments again. I start this YouTube channel. So I made some videos of like vintage playing against Jason Klasinski and going over old strategy for retro formats. And it was gonna eventually get to standard, where I would post my tournament results and see how we did, if we could still cut it. But I started playing tournaments again in 2020, and I really, really hated it. One, I didn't think the game was very fun, and also the limited experiences I had playing it, people were cheating a lot. The first tournament I played back in 2020 when I got back into Pokemon, in the first 4 rounds, three of my opponents cheated against me, whether it be trying to draw extra cards or saying I did something I didn't. I used a Poke Power twice when I never even drew my card for turn yet, just like crazy stuff. And I'm like, you know what? We're gonna backburner this. We're gonna come back to this. I'm having a good time with Pokemon. So here we are today. Lorcana, we're bringing Champions Chat back. Hopefully, we can turn this channel into just good Lorcana content. Maybe I'll chat with champions, people that win DLCs, and that'll make the channel name make sense. Or maybe I'll win a DLC myself, and then that'll make the channel name make sense too. But for now, today, we are going to do something that has been requested from me many times via DMs, and that is a Mulligan guide for Steel Song. Uh, Another question some of you are probably asking about the boogie board. My response to that is, if you know, you know. So, Steel Song Mulligan God is what we're going to be doing today. Let me start by having the list pop up on the screen. This is the list that we are going to be using today. If you have questions about the list before we get into this, this is typically where I would link my thing that rhymes with smetasmy, but I've been told through the focus groups that even mentioning that word now online will get you canceled, yelled at, make people angry. So I will not link my smetasmy here, but what I'm going to do is in the description, I'm going to leave the home address for Zach Bivens. And if you show up at Zach Bivens' door with a 6-pack of White Claws, he will give you all the information you want to know about anything. So here we go. Mulligan guide. The way we're going to do this is we're going to do 3 different matchups. We're going to do how I would mulligan against blue steel on the play, how I would mulligan against blue steel on the draw. Then we're going to do red blue on the play, red blue on the draw, and then blind on the play and blind on the draw. So let's do 3 of each. And yeah, starting out with a nice little cut because I cheat. And take a look at some cards. Starting out, this is going to be hand number 1 of how I would mulligan against blue steel on the play. Oh, deck's upside down. Yoink. All right, cool. Cool hand. Interesting hand. This one's gonna be fun. So, blue steel. Blue steel is attempting to get fast bell, which will then control your board with songs such as Let the Storm Rage On and Strength of a Raging Fire. Best defense against this is 4 willpower stuff because Bell does 3, Storm does 2, Strength is really hard to get up to 4. So things like Daisy Duck, Troubadour, and Neverland are gonna just like stay alive for a very long time and generate tons of lore. But we have something else going on in this hand. Since the beginning of time, Steel Song's strongest opening ever has been Cinderella and Storm. When you're on the play, you typically throw away damage spells because when you're on the play, you start the game with 7 cards. When you're on the draw, you start the game with 8 cards. And when you have 7 and they have 8, you don't want to be doing 1-for-1 trades like Zeus. I spend 1 card to get rid of 1 card. Strength, I spend 1 card to get rid of 1 card. When you're doing that, you're going to run out of cards first. So, unless you have a whole new world to reload, you will almost always throw away your damage spells, Zeus and Strength of Raging Fire, on the play. However, you will keep a Storm Rage on when you have Cinderella because Storm Rage on has the benefit of replacing itself. It plays itself and you don't actually lose that card. You get it right back, so it's free. So we got some conflicting things going on here. We are playing against blue steel on play. There's not any good Storm targets, so there's that argument for throwing away Cinderella and Storm. But on the other hand, it's Cinderella and Storm, the entire purpose of the deck. Knowing that you are up against exactly blue steel, I am actually throwing it away. I'm throwing away the Storm, I'm throwing away the Zeus, and I'm throwing away the Strength. I'm leaving myself these 4. My goal is to play Daisy on 1, Troubadour on 2, and then hopefully my next 3 cards will be a 3-drop or some more gas to get into like the 4-drop Bianca, a whole new world, that kind of stuff. The reason I'm keeping the Cinderella is because if you want your curve, you're going to have to ink. Cinderella is one of the worst cards in this matchup, so now is your best opportunity to just get rid of it. Goes in your inkwell and it served the best purpose it's going to serve. The best Cinderella can do is beat ink in this matchup, but we're keeping it since we have to ink on turn 1. One of our best inks. Neverland we're going to keep just because, again, it's 4 health against blue steel, which is great. So if we miss that 3-drop, it'll give us something to do on 3. If we miss everything, keeping the Cinderella also gives us this weird avenue of triple 1-drop character if we end up against, I don't know, just like nothingness out of them to just apply a ton of pressure. We can then maybe rip a Strength later on to just completely shut them out of the game. So the way I would mulligan this against blue steel, I would throw in the 3 spells, keep those 4, combination of ink and things that are good against blue steel, and we're going to draw 3. 1. Why is this upside down twice? I already flipped it. Science is hard. Alright. So we ended up getting something not too great. We're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure with that turn 1 Daisy, turn 2 Troubadour, and whatever they play on turn 3, we can Zeus it. But if we don't get some good draws, I could see this game stalling out. If we hit a 3-drop and we're able to sing that whole new world, then 100% auto win. But it's going to take some Ariels or Biancas up top to make this a little more viable for getting to 20. Not a terrible hand. Seen better. All right, let's do a second example of blue steel on the play. I hope I said on the play before. I might have said on the draw, but I meant on the play. Gonna do on the plays first, on the draws second. So again, this one's on the play. All right. If this is upside down, I don't believe physics exist. All right. Oh, this is a good one. All right. Blue steel, we're on the play. And this seems I'm keeping. Now I know what you're saying. You don't have any songs. You're playing steel song. What is going on here? Against blue still on the play, there's going to be opportunities to get damage on yourself. If there aren't opportunities to get damage on yourself, that means they're doing nothing, in which case you're going to just quest to victory pretty quickly. Here, this is just like the perfect curve into Bianco. We have our ink, now on one, ink, troubadour on two, then one of our two inks we draw, Pete on three, one of our inks, Rapunzel or Bianca based on what we drew. Typically, we'll leave with Bianca because that'll be something that we can heal with Rapunzel to draw a lot of cards. I like this hand a lot. If this hand in the next 5 cards draws the whole new world, it's gonna just run over a lot. Um, you don't even really fear the turn one bell with this hand that much. You got anti-bell, 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 stops the strength, massively anti-bell. Yeah, this hand is just like the gas against blue steel. This is what you want. And let's do a third one on the play. After we reload with some Celsius. Cola Celsius delicious. Not my sponsor, not yet. We're working on it. And third one on the play. All right. Well, we're missing a 2-drop. But we're definitely keeping a Bianca. We're definitely keeping a Neverland in case we miss a 1-drop. We're definitely keeping Ariel. Now we're going to bait me in Neverland, number 2. We definitely want a 2-drop. Our 3-drop is fine. And we don't mind a 1-drop that's an ally in case we miss the 2-drop that gets us into Bianca. So, there's also a school of thought for keeping the Lawrence over the Ariel, to be honest. Because Lawrence is an ally too. And just really slows him down as a Rapunzel target. But it just seems not intelligent since we're throwing away a whole new world to get rid of Ariel. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. And we're going to hope to hit our 2-drop, would be our biggest priority. But also, a 1-drop that is an ally would be nice. Thankfully, the vast majority of our 2-drops are allies, so that will help to get into Bianca. But we definitely need a 2-drop. So let's see what happens here. Gonna keep the Bianca, the Neverland, and the Ariel and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, disaster strikes. This is one of the really worst ones we get. We got no ally. We have no ally. We have no 2-drop. We drew 2 songs that are going to be very bad for a long time. If they are able to turn 1 bell, we probably just lose here because we're going to open Neverland. And then we'll have nothing to protect that Neverland unless we draw exactly a Troubadour. Or Ursula. So yeah, this is bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you have the option to do that, don't do that. Alright, that was the third one on the play. Let's go to the draw now. When you're on the draw, again, you now would like to keep your damage spells because even trades favor you when you have more cards in them. So this is going to change our mulligans a little bit. Alright, on the draw against blue steel. Troubadour, 1,000,000% keep. Zeus, 1,000,000% keep. Now, we need a 1-drop, but Cinderella is not the one we want. We are going to keep it though in case we absolutely Need to play a 1-drop. And in case they whiff bell. If they bell, we'll just ink it. And if they don't bell, we play it. Yeah. No reason to keep anything else here. We are going for 3-drop, 4-drop, damage spells. Take 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we didn't know what to do here. I mean, we wanted a 3-drop, but even a second Troubadour on turn 3, not bad at all. I think we are actually going to. If they play Bell on 1. They play Bell on 1. Do we play the Neverland? Let's see what that looks like. They Bell. I draw. Ink Neverland. They ramp. Hit Neverland, and then I Troubadour. No, so we're not going to play the Neverland on 1. If they Bell, what are we doing? Well, we'll figure it out. See what I draw. Let's just cheat. See what I draw. All right, now. Ugh. I don't want to give away a card for free if they bell on 1, but your Troubadour into Zeus, into Bianca, into Rapunzel Bianca is going to be very good against them. Just trying to figure out what you do on 1. You might just like pass on 1. You might do Cindy on 1. You might like ink Troubadour on 1 and pass, and then play Troubadour on 2. And turn 3, if you don't draw a 3-drop, go Neverland, Neverland, Cindy. Something crazy like that. All depends on your draws, though. All depends if they had the bell or not. Let's not speculate. But yeah, that's how I would mulligan it. I don't even know why I'm showing like the draws off the mulligan. This is kind of moot. We're just showing what you should mulligan. What you draw off the mulligan typically is irrelevant. Doesn't really mean anything. But we're doing it anyway. It's content. Second one on the draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. We got that Cindy dilemma again. We really want Daisy, by the way. Daisy is our best possible card against blue steel. So try and get your daisies. Try and not do this as much. Well, we got to go with what we got though, so we're definitely keeping that. We're keeping that. And we are keeping this in case they don't they quite good. We don't have a Singer 4, so we gotta throw away the Zeus. We're gonna throw away the Criminal Mind. Criminal Mind doesn't do anything. And Rapunzel and Pete. There's a school of thought for keeping Rapunzel. But since I don't have any of the things to heal with it, we're gonna toss it. If you had like a Ursula or a Troubadour or a Bianca, then you can consider keeping it. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we got Cindy Storm on 1, but we're just we're missing our 2-drops a lot. Maybe between our draw and the Storm draw off Cindy, if we get there, maybe we can find a 2-drop off that. But double aerial. Yeah, if you find a Troubadour, this hand's actually quite good. Got a lot of songs. Got aerials to get more songs, so we just need a couple singers to make this hand really good. Third one on the draw against blue steel. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So Daisy does not love us. Nala does not love us. Definitely getting rid of that. Definitely getting rid of that. Definitely getting rid of that. So it's a 1, 2, 3 curve. Not the one we want. Our much better curve is Daisy into Troubadour into either Lawrence or Ariel. But it's what we got, so that's what we're going with. I don't need a second Smee. Obviously, don't want the whole new world with no singers and Criminal Mind. Not doing anything Now against that deck, much better for later when Big Crab comes out. So throw that away. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we found our girl finally. So this is a pretty good one, especially if they whiff Bell. You're gonna be able to apply a ton of pressure with the turn one Daisy, turn two Nala Neverland, turn three Lawrence. That's just triple four willpower character that they're gonna just have a lot of trouble against. So yeah, that's solid. We take that. We would like some more removal. Hopefully we draw into it, but that's solid. We like that. Alright. That concludes the blue steel portion of this, and now we're going to talk about red blue. Let's start with red blue on the play. So strategy is a little different versus red blue. We don't want any of our removal cards really. It's gonna be opportunities to get a small Sisu or a Tipo every once in a while Storm, but that's not the norm. Here we're going for reckless aggression and wheels, a whole new world. We want to just put a bunch of stuff into play a whole new world, put a bunch more stuff into play a whole new world. Just hope to hold on. They're going to be clearing our board all the time. Neverland is magnificent in this matchup. Complete game changer because when they play Sisu and when they play Be Prepared, Neverland does not get banished. So Neverland, one of the most important cards in this matchup. Oh, haha, face down. All right, this one is red blue on the play. Okay, so this is definitely something we are interested in. Best turn one, best turn two, best turn three, and whole new world would be awesome if we had a singer, but we don't, so we gotta toss it. Definitely toss the Zeus. Criminal Mind, we want that later on when the big stuff comes on, so this is a pretty straightforward one. Keep the Cinderella's ink. We do have to ink turn one, so get rid of that. And we'll take 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And this is a pretty good curve. We have Daisy into Smee into Lawrence into Bianca. Quite good. If we could draw a whole new world by the time that Bianca gets put into play, should be rolling. But here it looks more like reckless aggression is coming. Something like Daisy on 1, Smee on 2, Lawrence on 3, just questing and just trying to hold on for dear life. You have the Pete to stop the Be Prepared. This looks like it should be able to sneak a win in there. Sneak a win in there against red blue on the flame. Nice hand. Second one on the play. One thing we used to do is have Gaston in here to play Gaston on 3. Then they wouldn't be able to brawl it to ensure a whole new world. That becomes a little more tricky now that they're running Sapphire Coil. I don't hate Gaston still. I still got versions with Gaston in it because when they play Coil on 2, it means they're not ramping. So you just get that many more requests out of that Daisy and that Smee and that Lawrence. It really puts them behind. So Gaston in that spot over Lawrence would have been great because you Daisy quest and Smee quest, and now they either coil, in which case Gaston's bad, but then Daisy and Smee gets much better, or they don't coil, in which case Gaston becomes like the nuts there if you draw a whole new world. Oh, second game. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So while we do like reckless aggression and questing, we got to go with what we got. In this case, our curve is going to be Cinderella and a Troubadour with draw 5. Obviously, don't want it with no singer in hand. Don't want it because there's nothing to zap. And these two, great cards, but we need a lot of other stuff. So keeping Cindy and Troubadour. And let's go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a little bit better here. Now we have a Daisy on 1, a Smee on 2, and hopefully we can find a Bianca or Ariel at some point to get that whole new world sung. But this is again not the worst hand for aggression. Anything with Daisy and Smee, You're gonna do all right. And then we have Rapunzel to draw some cards after that. Smee gets some damage out of from questing. This is fine. This works. You would rather either not see that whole new world or see the whole new world with something that sings. But this is definitely not the worst. I've seen worse hands than this. All right, what do we do now? Third game. Third game on. Or was that the third game? Let's see. I would love to be able to just like pause this and go back and. Oh, that was the third one. That was the third one. No, this is the third one. Sorry, I'm like a mega boomer, by the way. Anybody that doesn't know, you'll see it from this camera quality. Like, probably the things that I have up end up popping up on the screen are going to look cheesy and stupid. My inability to even know how to go back and see if this is the third hand or not. I am just like not a technology guy. Please forgive me. All right. Third, maybe fourth hand on the play against red blue. Probably the third. I think I'm doing all right. And this one's interesting. We're definitely keeping the daisy. We're definitely keeping an aerial. We're definitely keeping Neverland. Because we have the Neverland, we're keeping, or because we have the aerial, we're keeping a whole new world. And now we have this. We want a 2-drop, but we will settle for another 1-drop. Because then we can do Daisy on 1, Neverland, plus the other 1-drop on turn 2. So we're going to take 3 here. If we draw another whole new world, it sucks. Some people don't keep this, but it's just so important to play that card to reload your hand and keep the threats going that I will keep it along with a Singer 5 if it's in my opening hand. It's just, oh shit, I just shuffled my deck. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so that's what we got. This is going to be okay. This is going to be a. What are we inking then? Jeez. I think we probably ink the Neverland. I think this is going to be an ink Neverland. I think this is actually going to be ink Neverland turn 1 and play Cinderella, which seems weird against red blue. But we gotta go with the hand we have, and in this case, we're gonna need to cycle that storm. So if we ink Cindy and play Daisy, we are at the mercy of the top card of our deck. If it's an uninkable, like another whole new world of Zeus, we'll just lose. So I think the play is ink Neverland, play Cindy. And then next turn, let's draw. And we did find an inkable. So now we can, if we didn't, like, let's say we didn't find an inkable. Let's say we found Zeus. Now we would have to play Daisy, Storm Daisy, and then ink that for another Daisy. So doing that Cindy on turn 1 is what gave us the insurance. Now we're still actually in a not great spot because if we draw an uninkable here, that's probably just really bad. Yoink. Haha. That was my on the play. Mulligans against red blue. Let's do some on the draw. This matchup is probably one of the toughest matchups in Lorcana on the draw. I've never been able to get this to a 50% win rate. I'm probably sitting at like 30% on the draw against red blue. It's just when they do that like turn 1, whatever, turn 2 ramp, turn 3 Flaversham. It's too much, too many cards to try and hope they brick everything. They just don't. So you really need some you want some reckless aggression again here, but you also want to still play a whole new world. Once they start drawing a lot of cards, if you can like have your a whole new world spaced out properly, then milling becomes a true win condition because you have so many cards with the 4 Zeus and the 3 Criminal Mind that stop their big lore game things like Sisu and Crab that the game just extends and extends. So by doing that, a whole new world becomes a giant mill threat if they if you can avoid drawing two at the same time. 5, 6, 7. This could be the possible nuts on the play on the draw. Yeah, this is exactly what we want. I don't think we will throw away anything here. We have our ink, our play, and then based on what they do, either Smee or Daisy Neverland, probably Daisy Neverland Never. We have our ink, that and that, and yeah, this is the hand that's going to end up beating red blue. If you get this hand against red blue on the draw, you're still in great shape. This is going to apply a ton of pressure, and they're going to have a lot of trouble dealing with it. Would recommend 10 out of 10. Keeping that hand, do not mulligan anything. Number 2 on the draw. This video is 31 minutes already? Good God. Anybody that watches this, you're a sicko. If I see more than 100 views on this, ugh, what is wrong with you people? Hand number 2 on the draw. I mean, my first instinct is keep. Um, I I don't see how we can improve on this hand. We have our turn 1. We have our turn 2. We have our turn 3. We have our turn 4. We have the wheel. We have our additional pressure. We have our ink. I mean, yeah, this is one of the things you should be asking yourself when you're mulliganing is can I do better? Or what is my probability of improving the hand? In this case, what can we do better? And what would the probability of that be? In this case, you can't really do better. Um, I mean, this could be another easy, but now you're throwing away ink, throwing away your ink to gamble on like another daisy. It's just no. You keep this. That's as good as we get. Oh, we're getting some good hands on the draw against red blue. And third hand on the draw against red blue. That's a fun one. Celsius sip. Oh, obviously, no, no, no. We want a whole new world, but we don't have the singer for it, so no, no. Double Nala into Neverland. It's not a lot of lore pressure, but it is a thing. We're definitely keeping the Neverland. We're definitely keeping at least one Nala. I'm debating a second one. I nah, that's kind of a weak. You need to go for a little bit more lore pressure than just double Nala. We're gonna throw one away. We're gonna try and hit a 2 quester, either a Smee or a Daisy. We're doing 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, this is definitely better. The Zeus sucks, kinda, but we have our turn 1 Daisy and our turn 2 probably Troubadour because we have the Zeus. So normally, if against red blue, you want to just apply as much lore as possible. So it'd be a turn 1 Daisy, and then a turn 2 Neverland and Nala. But once you have Zeus in your hand, you kind of gotta just do what your hand dictates. So if we go turn 1 Daisy, turn 2 Troubadour, say they ramped and now they Tala on their turn 3, you got the Tala removal uh, to allow more questing. Plus you have more ink in your hand available. Yeah. In this case, we're probably going to Troubadour on 2 instead of Nala plus Neverland. Yeah. Not a terrible hand. Not great, but not terrible. Definitely not as good as the first 2 hands, but we can play with this. You can work with this. All right. So that was 3 hands on the play against blue steel, 3 hands on the draw against blue steel, 3 hands on the play against red blue, and 3 hands on the draw against red blue. My plan was I was going to do now blind mulliganing, but this video is 35 minutes. I read somewhere that people's brains shut off on YouTube after like 8 minutes into the video, so nobody's going to watch this. We're going to just maybe cut it up into chunks. I'll do 2 matchups mulliganing every week or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm doing. That's it. We're not doing anything else today. If you don't like it, I am going to leave Zach Bivens' telephone number in the comment section. You can call him and tell him how much you hate my videos. Everybody, appreciate you. I hope this isn't the worst. I'm gonna go try to edit this as much as a boomer can possibly edit something. I love you all. Peace.